Hello, I'm Marlon Weaver, and I offer this video as my presentation for the Module 7 assignment, the Integrated Unit of Study and Planning Template. I wanted to approach this assignment by using an industry that I am professionally familiar with, and that is culinary arts. Now, culinary arts as a whole is very broad. There are many aspects that make up that industry. We have things such as baking, being a pastry chef, a sous chef, or an executive chef. You can get into management, such as hosting or doing the bookkeeping. And what I wanted to do in order to narrow the scope is to use a foundational aspect of this program for this assignment. And I have that unit plan side by side, so you will see me looking over so that I can meet these points. And the integrated unit of study that I'm going to use is the Essential Culinary Knife Skills Safety and Proficiency. This unit is basically going to be run by executive chefs and industry professionals so that whatever is learned in this program can be carried over into the professional field. So for the enduring understandings, this is what I would like the students to take away from the program and keep with them. One is the safe and proficient use of culinary knives for professional environments. And the most important understanding I would like for the students to carry with them is the respect of all safety issues while working with knives. And that means carrying knives, the proper placement of these knives at their stations. For the essential questions that are going to be pertinent to this unit, I have three of them. Number one, what is the fundamental culinary knife safety and proficiency skills? Number two, what are the essential knife types? And number three, what are basic culinary knife cuts? In the industry, these three things are most important for someone that is going to become a master at this aspect in the profession. You can take this on to doing like ice sculptures. You can take this on to be very proficient in any type of competition, or it's most important for effective food production. Let's get into the learning standard connections. One that is more common across the nation for culinary programs, we're going to use the American Culinary Federation standards. You'll find this in most colleges and in high schools, and more particularly as it pertains to the state of Maine, we're going to be using the Maine Certified Industry Standards. And on my assignment, I have provided active links, so you can click on these and it will take you to both of these locations to find out exactly what the standards are. I want to talk now about the type of textbooks or resources that we're going to use for this unit. Now, in culinary, there are many articles, there are many books, and many people have written theses or papers on how to become proficient in this field. But culinary is the type of industry where you become better by doing. So we're not going to use a traditional textbook. We're going to work with PowerPoint presentations. We're going to use lectures as a resource, daily handout notes to include recipes and knife cuts for the assignments. And there is also going to be a unit checklist. This is basically a supply checklist that you're going to get at the beginning of the class and that you will turn in at the end of the class. And this is just to make sure that we can keep account of your knife set, your cutting board, your portion cups, and your recipes. These will be presented as a package, and hopefully none of these things get lost during the course of the program, because they do have to be accounted for. The progression and the objectives for this unit are as such. The students will be able to accurately label the parts of a culinary knife. They will identify different types of culinary knives. They will demonstrate culinary knife safety and proficiency, demonstrate basic culinary knife cuts, and as part of the assessments for the objectives, they will describe and perform various methods of culinary knife sharpening. You can't cut food with a dull knife. We have some learning activities that are going to be a part of this unit. And before I get into that, what I want to do is make a connection to Danielson. There is a portion in the reading that lets us know that teaching is a thinking person's field. In culinary, there are many tasks that seem repetitive, but because of the other variables that goes along with food production, somebody has to always be on top of their game. Things can happen such as the temperature changes, or in terms of baking, the cake can fall, there's separation, and there's various aspects of spoilage. So you always have to make sure that you're thinking ahead and thinking about the different types of variables, because the last thing that somebody wants to do in the kitchen is put out bad food. Then that becomes a health issue. So we always have to make sure that safety is first and proficiency comes second, but the two should work hand in hand. And we have to continue to be thinking about these things. Now back to the activities. We have a small group activity. The students will perform supervised practice of each knife cut. Any of the activities that we do in this unit will be supervised by an industry professional or an executive chef to make sure that we are consistent with the safety and the proficiency. For some whole group activities that will even include the assessments, the instructors will present a variety of knives and explain their uses for things, for specific food items. For example, there's a chef knife, a paring knife, a boning knife. The students will be able to identify these types and know how to properly use them. But let's move down to what the assessments will be, because these are also whole group activities. For the formative assessments, the students will complete some exams during the course of this unit, and this will pertain to their knife cuts. They will be able to explain what type of knife they're using for the particular food item, and after they provide their cuts at the station, they will portion these cuts out for the instructor to critique. Measurement is everything. You don't want to cut up a whole tomato instead of a whole apple to put in your salsa, even though fruit salsa is good. For the summative assessments, the student will complete a major practical exam in a professional kitchen environment, includes a written portion, and they will demonstrate 4 knife cuts for food production. I also have included with the unit a grading rubric that starts at unsatisfactory, which is 0, and 3 for proficiency. And in that rubric, we explain what needs to happen to differentiate between unsatisfactory and proficiency. I look forward to everyone's comments or suggestions with this presentation, and I thank you for your time.